Welcome to Introduction to Communication, Com 101, Section 26914. This is the spring of 2021. I'm Dr. Rob Conrad Lozon. Just call me Rob. So the syllabi, or the syllabus, is the most important document in the class. So when we all went online this past spring, I did a lot of soul searching, trying to think about where um, I would like to go. Would I like to make the course, like a game and go online and do this and that? I didn't know that that was the right approach to an online course for a majority of students who would have otherwise taken this class in person. So I decided to keep it as familiar to you as possible. So the syllabus is where you're going to find everything you need to know about the schedule and due dates and that stuff. Think of the syllabus as the best place you can reference if you're concerned about whether your assignments are on time or this or that. That's what I would advise you to do. So here's my contact info. My office is DH301. You won't be able to find me there. I'm not going to be there this semester. There's my phone number at the school. I will be able to receive voicemails. They do get forwarded to my email. So even if I'm not there, you can do that. I have two different office hour times. I have one office hour time that's like before lunchtime for many. That's Wednesdays, and then Tuesdays is one that is after students are done with their classes for the day. Or if you take night classes, typically this is before you have to go to your night classes. And I do this office hours because I do teach two night classes. I was a student who went to all night classes basically for my bachelor's degree and my associate degree, and I never was able to go to office hours because the faculty did not have evening office hours after I was done working at a sandwich shop all day. So this is for you. So it straddles the end of the day. So it's not too late and it's not too early. So hopefully it encompasses many of my students. So that's when you can find me for office hours. I strongly encourage everybody to hit me up. I know all your professors say that, but please try to stop for office hours if you don't understand what's going on or you need a little help. Okay, all of my um, office hours can be accessed through this link right here at WebEx /me/ our Lozon. Nothing will ever change about that. This is an online class, so you don't have to show up for anything. You can do the course at 1 a.m. every day if you'd like. It's a survey of the field of communication within a variety of contexts, including interpersonal, group, organizational, mass media, intercultural, and international communication. Attention is given to understanding how communication is a fundamental life process in which individual creates and shapes communicative situations. The learning outcomes identify how communication affects all facets of life, describe different types of human communication, explain when, how, and why human beings develop the tools necessary for communication. So my methods of instruction: recitation, discussion board activities. The recitation will be your discussion board activities, basically. I haven't really changed the methods of instruction much in the syllabi. Your presentations will basically be a discussion board posting for all intents and purposes. There's a group presentation, not really. I have always had a group project in any class that I've ever taught, and they don't work for online classes and remote classes. They just students don't have the bandwidth for them right now, and I don't blame you. If it were up to me, I would send all you guys home and say, have a nice day. But I'll be brutally honest, I got a family to support. So I can't just, be like, good day, have a good one, go get packing and, take care of your loved ones during the pandemic. Obviously, our society said that that's not the way we're going to go. So I can't go that way, even though I do think that would be, there would be nothing detrimental probably. But there's no group presentation. I wish I could have one because it teaches us a lot about how communication works in a very experiential context. So just ignore this. There will be no group presentation this semester. During this class, you'll be required to produce some assignments, scripts, outlines, visual aids, write-ups of your experiences, and scholarly research. This is the textbook. It's fairly cheap, in my opinion. Um, the department, I was responsible for picking this out, but the department decided on this primarily because of its affordability. A lot of textbooks, as you guys probably know from your other classes, are really freaking expensive. This one, I think, is fairly affordable and accessible for many college students. The material is good. Um, it wasn't my first choice, but the first choice is way too expensive. So this one is a good runner-up, and I do want to encourage everybody to read. Um, Please read the material because it will make class that much more fun. The discussions will be much more dynamic. Instead of just regurgitating, approximations of what your other peers in the class have already written about on the discussion board, make an attempt to read. I know it's asking a lot sometimes. If you miss a chapter or two, fine, but don't get into the habit of not reading the book. Then you're just cheating yourself on an education. Evaluation and grading, participation. You'll be expected to find a way to participate in the course. For this semester, you have to use the discussion boards. There's nothing, you're not sitting in class doing that. Negative participation, physically, obviously that's not going to come into play here, but verbally aggressive students, I will be throwing you out of the session or discussion or whatever and asking you to think about your life and come on back. I want you guys to be civil. We're going to be talking about some, not too maybe controversial things in this class. This is fairly general, this course, but I do want to encourage everybody to be civil with one another. I teach the other course that I teach primarily is public speaking. And we do have controversial opinions that come into play. And whether I agree with your opinion or whether you agree with my opinion or whether your classmates agree with one another, I want everybody to be respectful of each other. I'm respectful of you. I expect the same from me and your classmates. So negative participation not accepted. All assignments will be evaluated on their adherence to guidelines. Presentations, I'll evaluate those based on the preparation made by individuals. Outcomes assessment, there is no real standardized final examination just yet. We're working on that, so you have a final project in lieu. I'm not a big fan of exams anyway, so lucky me, lucky you. So here's the breakdown. I'm playing with it still, trying to figure out what will work good for a virtual thing because I'm very experiential. Before we went online, one of my assignments was a photography project, which is the culmination of a couple prior projects. For me, that was your final project. You would go out months in advance of the when the project was due and start taking pictures on a 35 millimeter camera, get those pictures developed, and try to compose with those, talk about your experience of composing, talk about what you composed and how it was relevant to understanding the concepts listed in your book. Obviously, I'm not going to force you guys to go out in the middle of a pandemic and do a project like this. That is an option, though. That is totally an option for somebody doing the final project, and you will see that if you look it up. There's a couple options for completing the final project. I still take photos and go to the photo lab during the pandemic. It's not too risky, but if you don't feel comfortable with it, you could totally mail it in. There's some places where you can mail the film and they will send you your prints back along with your negatives. CVS is taking longer than expected to do that kind of stuff, so it's not required for all the students this semester because of the pandemic, but it's an option if you are an arts-oriented student. And I'll explain more of that in the guidelines video. But the breakdown is activities, class participation, discussion boards. Obviously, this is not a remote class, so you're not going to be expected to have class participation, but those discussion boards are important. That is in lieu of class participation. There's an email grade. I'm a communication professor. I do expect you to model some good practices, so I have a video that you'll be able to watch shortly about email expectations. All you have to do is model good practices in email, and you'll get 5% of your grade taken care of, no questions, done. Cultural immersion project, we'll talk more about that, but I'm really asking you to put yourself outside of your comfort zone and embrace a culture that is not your own and write about it. This will be in conjunction with the intercultural communication chapter. Final project is 20% of your grade. Again, that is in lieu of an exam as well. So that's why the weighting is heavy there. There's a deep listening journal. This is a new project this semester. I will talk a little bit more about that. I think it will be a valuable experience for you. There's a meme assignment, super easy project in my opinion. Maybe not so easy if you're not a digital native, but we'll talk about that. There's a media literacy campaign. This is another new project, not too heavy. We'll talk about that. Non-digital experience, something I've been doing for almost 2 years now. I think it's pretty fun. Play a cassette, play a vinyl, shoot a roll of film, read a book, read a newspaper, something like that. We'll talk more about that, and that's in line with the medium and things of that nature. Midterm grade report. I do not keep a grade book online, and some students, I think, have a hard time with that. So instead, I'm going to have you all produce a midterm grade report and reflect on how grades are calculated and just present that to me so I know that where you stand in this class. I don't want your grade to be a surprise to you. Grade breakdown or chart definitions. Oh, little mouse just dashed across the kitchen. These little fun friends that we have here. Schedule is broken down by the week. Obviously, January 20th is not the start of a week. It's the middle of a week because that's when the semester starts. But come January 25th, these are all Mondays. On here, you can see these are the activities that you should be doing this week. Okay, so I'm not going to remind you to do this stuff. You got to look. So this week, you open up your syllabus. You go, what do I got to do this week? You go, okay, review guidelines for cultural immersion project and email expectations, review syllabus and discussion boards. Bam. You read one chapter, chapter 1, and then you go to the discussion board and you do your introductions, tracking activity, chapter 1 discussion, done. Bam. There you go. You're done with the classes for that week. And that's what discussion boards are, is your in-class activities that you would have done. You go down here, week 2, read this chapter, review guidelines for the non-digital experience, mana kamana, extra credit. If you find that online and you want to watch it, you want to get a little extra credit. I'm not a big extra credit to save the grade, but more so extra credit to, help get you enthusiastic about the course. Chapter 2 discussion. Then you'll see your first project is due February 15th, Cultural Immersion Project. We'll talk more about that, where you can watch some guidelines. And you'll see, not every week you're going to have an activity. You might just be doing the discussion boards. Not every week. Okay. Final week you have no reading, just working on the final project. But you basically have one chapter a week. Spring break, I really do, believe in taking a break for spring break, so you really don't have any big projects to work on over spring break besides that midterm grade report, and that's not due until the Sunday after the week you get back from spring break. Basically everything except for the final project should be due the Sunday the week of. Okay, so you look at the cultural immersion project, that would be due that Sunday, not on February 15th, but on the Sunday of that week, just so you guys know. Discussion boards, similar. So don't get caught up in this. Oh, whoa, what did I do? Week of January 20th, if it takes you a couple days extra into the week of the 25th, go ahead and do that. It's not a big deal. Deadlines are not hard and fast in my world. I don't know why they should be hard and fast in your world. So just make sure you get some of the stuff done. Do it in a timely manner so you get feedback, because that's important, because I don't offer feedback to things that are late. And there you go. College-wide policies. Bada bing, bada boom, or whatever they say in New Jersey. There we go. Okay. That's your syllabus.